Greetings, salutations, and privatani, everyone. I went to a concert the other day, and today we are doing a review. It was Molchat Doma's first ever USA tour, and I had the privilege, and I do stress privilege because what a gift they even came here, to see the band perform along with Los Angeles natives Sextile. Given it was their first USA tour, I was really curious how the band would perform, or if they would do any songs in English. There was a lot to impress here, as I brought my nearly 70-year-old mother with me to see the show. But besides us, the venue was full of normies, goths, and alternative people of all ages. So how was the show? Let's talk about Molchat Doma in 2025. Hello, I'm Miko, and welcome to my channel where I talk about gothy things and just things I like. And if you also like gothy things or are just interested in learning, please drop a like and maybe subscribe. YouTube tells me to tell you guys that. But more importantly, let's talk about Sextile. Sextile was a choice I really didn't expect to open for the Belarusian band. The post-punk band hails from Los Angeles, California. Their current lineup consists of Brady Keane on vocals, guitars and electronics, Melissa Scaduto, also known as Scaduto, on drums, electronics, guitar and vocals, Cameron Mitchell on guitars and keyboard, and it looked like their drummer Leah Simone Braswell was back for this tour. But I was a little far away, so I couldn't tell exactly. Sextile has a distorted post-punk style which I would describe as stripped down and experimental. They mix so many genres together, such as ambient, psychobilly, electronic rock, which creates a lot of great energy and a very interesting sound. And it's even more interesting when you get to hear it live and experience the stripped down style that they produce. As the night began, the crowd was immediately enraptured by the electric energy they brought to the stage. Not only did Brady and Scaduto keep it fresh and exciting by switching out who performed vocals on stage, but the dancing and audience interaction left the crowd cheering and yelling for more. Not even the drums were safe from a rhythmic, jumping dance. I don't think the venue did them justice, honestly. They seem like an act that would be best performed in like a dive bar. They didn't use the distortions for their vocals that they use when producing their songs, so each vocalist had a strong, punk-heavy style, which was similar to the power of spoken word poetry. Their atmosphere was sparky and hypnotic. Brady and Scaduto both had something in their hair that made it glow in the dark, which I thought, given the fact that they didn't use much stage lighting or effects, was a really amazing touch and helped you keep your eye on them as they performed. I also very much appreciated the power behind Sextile, not only in performance, but in personality. You can tell that these are some musicians who stand strongly behind what they believe in and aren't afraid to make a statement. Whether it came from their merch, featuring the slogan, "My idols are dead, my enemies are in power," or when Scaduto came up on stage at the end of their performance with the flag that read, "Abortion rights now." I thought that it was so cool to hear the crowd cheer for Sextile as Scaduto walked around with the flag. It was nice to see a room full of people not only enjoying music together, but on the same page when it came to such an important topic. I think that they were a perfect opening act, full of pizzazz, and they kept the audience engaged and ready for the stellar performance which was to come. So overall, I would give Sextile's stage presence a 5 out of 5 stars, their sound a 3 out of 5 stars, lighting 2 out of 5 stars, and this can always improve in the future, and atmosphere 4 out of 5 stars. And now for the main event, coming all the way from Minsk, Belarus, we have Molchat Doma. Am I saying that right? Probably not, but that's what we get. Their lineup consists of founding members, whose name I will do my best with: Igor Shkutko on vocals, Roman Komargotsev on guitar, synthesizer, and drum machine, and Pavel Kozlov on bass, guitar, and synthesizer. And one may think that due to TikTok, this band is overplayed. But I don't think you can overplay one of the most influential and powerful post-punk bands of this generation of goth musicians. I cannot stress what a privilege it was to see this band live. I was so worried that since they had to cancel their first attempt to come to North America back in 2019, that it might be too difficult for them to try and come back just due to the powers that be. But I am so happy they made it. I think that the extra time, which it's been about 6 years, and that time spent just made this tour even more memorable for me. They have come out with 2 other albums since then, and that just gave them so much more material to choose from. The way that I would best describe this show was minimalistic, but in a good way. Coming all the way from Belarus, the band didn't bring much with them in terms of extra lighting or stage decoration, relying on the venue's lights to perform with. In the venue I was at, this led to an almost bleak atmosphere with shifting hues of red, blue, and purple to highlight the musicians from behind. But given that Molchat Doma's cold and gloomy atmosphere, which is evoked by Igor's deep croons, this was actually very fitting. It very much reminded me of the dark wave style of the 80s, such as The Cure and Joy Division, which Molchat Doma does draw heavily from. Even with this dark theme, the crowd basically lost their minds when the 3 came out. With each musician on one side of the stage and Igor in the middle, they covered the visuals from either side, and after a long and drawn-out introduction, building up the suspense for the vocals to come, our spirits were finally set aflight with the sound of Igor's beautiful voice. I was skeptical coming into the show that he would sound the same, honestly. I mean, how can someone sound so deep, so soft and romantic, but despondent and cold at the same time? I had no idea, and I still have no idea how he does it, but it just comes so naturally to him. He just closed his eyes and sang, and it was beautiful. I mean, you have to listen to yourself. Listen to this. And furthermore, look at these hips. I think that the band's own swaying encouraged the audience to sway too, and it was so peaceful. I don't think I've ever seen such a calm crowd. And you know what? I was so pleased that they kept the show in their native language. Sometimes it's a thing where artists will come overseas and be pressured to sing in English by their labels, but I don't think any other language would suit the band. There's something so ethereal about them. It's like they're wise beyond their years and experienced in music in ways that we will never be. They just knew how to keep the crowd under their spell, never straying far but changing it up and keeping this pace at just the right speed to keep us anxiously awaiting for more. With long, drawn-out intros to each song, it was never certain which would come on next, but as soon as the beats picked up, so did the audience. My only complaint is, I actually think this is a venue issue, and it was only twice during their set that the reverb got so loud that I could feel my clothes shaking against my body, but I think this could have also been intentional. There is a way to use reverb to kind of shake the audience and build them up for your next song, which one of the songs that this happened to was Discotheque, and that is a more popular song, so I could see how it could be intentional, but if it wasn't intentional, it still felt kind of cool. Just please make sure to bring your earplugs to every concert you go to. Other than that, the band didn't interact with the audience or each other much really, and I would expect nothing less honestly. There was a brief guitar and bass moment where Roman and Pavel played their instruments together. It was super fun, but overall they kept their straightforward and aloof attitudes. I did really love seeing when Roman and Pavel would change their instruments and show us how they performed with each one. I mean, you can tell that they felt most in their element with their guitars, but I thought it was interesting since they were basically showing us how they recorded all of this. The beautiful and clear-cut strums against the background of a drum machine and the voice of a legend breaking through the electronic plucking of each chord. Musically, they are geniuses, and I was so awestruck as I watched them. So I will give Molchat Doma's stage presence a 5 out of 5 stars. Their sound, another 5 out of 5 stars. I don't think it gets any better than this. Their lighting, a 2 out of 5 stars, and this will improve as they can bring their own lighting and their own equipment. And their atmosphere, 4 out of 5 stars, because although they didn't have anything like a fog machine or any setup behind them, they had such a powerful stage presence and once again just beautiful, gorgeous, amazing music that it kind of picked everything up, and the atmosphere was really just being within the crowd and just enjoying something with so many people. I was just so happy to see them as they are now, since I didn't get to go see them during the pandemic because obviously they had to cancel that tour, and I just really hope that they can come back around one day, and if they can't, I'll just go to them. I love them enough to make the trek down to Europe. And if you have the opportunity, please go see this band. It is so amazing, a 10 out of 10, and I am so excited to see what they make next. You have our hearts and our souls, Molchat Doma. So, in conclusion, it is 200% worth it to go see Molchat Doma in 2025. Please go, support them, bring them back. This concert was a 5 out of 5 for me, but of course reviews must be critical. Please don't forget to sway your hips and have a nice day.